Welcome to another Eternal Draft video. This time I am on the road, so there's not going to be any webcam. Figured I would hop into a draft and see what archetype we can experiment with now that they updated the draft format. I'll put the record of how the deck does at the end of the draft so we can kind of get a sense of is this good or bad. And remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Let's get right into it. Okay, what do we got here? Oh, slam the rivets wrench. So I have a sneaky suspicion that Justice might be a decent amount better in this format than it was the previous. This card's good, but still just a very strong 2-drop more than anything else. But Rivets Wrench is busted, lets you pitch land or sigils when you're flooding out, and man, it always just takes over the game right away. So immediately, to go along with our strong Justice card, I see a Bejeweled Knuckles, so that is very good. A Bust Out and a Rocky Ride are two other strong things. A few other okay things here, but I'd rather just follow up a really strong Justice card with another Justice card rather than going into something different. That way we can see what the open faction is. The Tome is interesting because we're almost assuredly playing Justice now, so even if we aren't in Shadow, it could help us splash Shadow. That being said, we do just have a Bust Out here, which is a really strong removal spell. Maybe not really strong, but unconditional removal spell. What else would we pick? I mean, we could take a much worse removal spell in Desertion, just to make sure we stay in Justice. That's pretty medium, although I could imagine that being a pick. Dune Wave is also strong, but realistically I think it's between Bust Out and Dune Wave with Tome and Desertion as like secondary options. I think given how strong Time is in Behemoths of Thera, that Dune Wave is actually the correct pick here. Makeshift Barrier as an OK 3. There's also a Green Stretch Griffin here, and then just Covenant Peacekeeper as another OK 3-drop. But out of any of this, I'd rather... The Barrier always seems to overperform for me. It's either a defensive unit when we want that, or just a 2/2 flyer. Weaker on balance than the Green Stretch Griffin, but still can do a lot. Griffin Bomber is somewhat interesting given these relic and relic weapon we have already, but I think a Seek Power, man, I always just love to have a Seek Power. I'm gonna go with the Seek Power. So we're kind of left with the same decision here with Desertion, a Bust Out. We have an OK 2-drop in the Tinker, and also a Stone Skin if we wanted to stay in Time. Stone Skin is a good combat trick, but Bust Out's a decent amount stronger. So I think I'm gonna play it safe here and take the Bust Out, and we'll still just kind of feel out what's open. So nothing realistically here is gonna make the deck. I mean, we're never gonna want to sack like Rivets Wrench to this, so we'll just take a mediocre Justice card on the off chance we can't make playables. We aren't playing any of this. I guess we'll take the Graviturgist. Okay, mediocre 3 and mediocre 5-drop. I can't imagine either of these really making the deck, but we'll take the Minotaur Tailor. No, well, got there anyways, so not a very good start. We started off really strong, and then the pack kind of went out on us. That being said, we have an Amber Beetle here, Tongue Lasher, but we're pretty far from that since we don't know we're Time yet, and we would be splashing Primal. Strategist is colorless, so this is interesting. So realistically, neither of these are good. So we have one good Time card, one good Shadow card, and then some Justice. Amber Acolyte, we would choose Amber Beetle over Amber Acolyte, so we know that. Vein Parasite's another good choice here. Tongue Lasher is great, but, and I think it is, this is a defensible pick, and then the Strategist just definitely makes the deck. That being said, I think Strategist is a decent amount weaker than these other cards. I think I'm going to take the Beetle. Once again, we just aren't sure. I don't want to take the Tongue Lasher and then Shadow ends up being super open. And then we can't double splash this. So I think I'll take Amber Beetle over the Vein Parasite and the Lasher. That might be insane, but I'm comfortable with it for now. We got a Justice Delivery, Lumen Shepherd, which is overperformed. If we still aren't married to, I mean, at this point, we could have 2 good Shadow cards, 2 good Justice cards, and 2 good Time cards. So I'm looking between the Delivery, Bone Picker. I mean, I guess there's an Entrapment, and Entrapment's okay. But Delivery's probably more important than the first Entrapment. There's a Deep Freeze, but we're pretty far from that. So we'll take Delivery here. No Time, so we might need to move off of that. We are starting to see some Primal, but we have a Strength of the Many, which is a pretty good combat trick. Myrmidon Helm is okay. I guess I would take the first Strength of the Many over the first Myrmidon Helm. Maybe that's not even necessarily true, but we'll take it. Caravan Delivery, more Primal we're seeing, but I still don't see a reason to move off Time just yet. Like, we could get a Lumen Shepherd here, which is not the craziest powerful thing, but does what it needs to do. Ooh, Warren Tactician. I'll take that over Attending the Hives, and admittedly, still some strong Shadow cards. Oh my god. Recruiter still in the pack. And an Ignite still in the pack. With another Seek Power, we could take a Seek Power and then we're set up for a splash of some type. We'll take that over the Recruiter. Tending the Hive here. Okay, then we got nothing. Just not a fan of cards like that. The Mole's super mediocre. We don't really want to play Last Light Infusion. And then the rest of this pack is nonsense. So we still have 3 packs to make this work. We got a Skylighter and a Feed here, which is a strong card to splash. The issue is Skylighter is so good in and of itself. I think that just is the pick. Bounding Courier, we do need 2 drops. We have no 2 drops. How the hell did that happen? Okay, Tongue Lasher here, and we have double Seek Power for the splash. So I'm down to take a speculative Tongue Lasher. Ooh, Quinn Beast Heart. Not a bad rare to pick up here. Not passing up on much else. A Rift Crystal and a Druid. Oh my god, okay. We ended up getting there on the time, but no Justice cards, but this card's great. Probably take out the Minotaur Tailor. Recovery. A great card to splash. And that still could be our splash instead of Tongue Lasher. Like, what are we missing out on? Attending the Hives if we don't take it? Okay, we got nothing here for us. Like, literally. So just take the Twilight Lantern. Just another Warren Tactician. Seems pretty good to me. Secluded Druid, sure. Okay, a 2-drop. That was a really late Ignite in that pack. Gnarled Ant replaces Rotocycle. I mean, neither of these are realistically making the deck. And now we need 2 drops. 2-drop units here. Display of Realities probably is not great when we're splashing, so I guess it's just the Towering Terrazon. Questioning Devotee. Oh my god, we're just gonna have no 3s. I do like the Devotee over the Adept. Yeah, no 2-drops. Like, do we just take the Suspicion just to have, like, early interaction? We probably take the Xenon Adept and bail on the Tongue Lasher and go with Shadow Splash instead, though. Saddle Up's good, but... God. Maybe we just want Desertion. We already have a Strength of the Many. We're going to need removal to stop our opponent rather than a combat trick. Ay, ay, ay. We want another Dune Wave? Maybe? Or just Maniacal Reveler? Ugh. It's a tough one. Not 100% sure on what's better. We'll take the Reveler. Okay, Permanent Endurance is good. Plus Warren Delivery is actually a nice little trick there, so take that. Okay, Peacekeeper can help us stay alive. Oh my god, no 2s for us. Oh my god. That was really, really good pickup there. Prospector's probably not making the deck. Okay, we got a nice little pile going. So this is the deck. I think we did pretty good. Combray is an archetype I think is a lot stronger in this format, but that's super anecdotal, early to say. But it does benefit off of the strong time cards in Behemoths of Thera. Obviously, we picked up Xenon Adept from the Unleash pack, which is super strong card. We have a Recovery here, and okay influence fixing. We would have liked to have like a Amber Acolyte or something, and maybe slightly better interaction. Like if we could have picked up that Feed the Hecton or whatever it's called. I think that would make this a lot stronger. We do need to make the market before I always forget that. We got a Taylor. Oh god, that's it. Yeah, we got like nothing to really pick from, unfortunately. I wonder if that's like a reason to just take out the Copper Hall recruit. Like, how many units do we have? Actually, you know what? That's an interesting idea. Why don't we take out the Copper Hall recruit? We'll put in a Last Light Infusion, even though not a huge fan of that. And that does get us a slightly bigger unit that we can get from the market if that's what we need. Copper Hall recruit to kind of stabilize us on the ground. And I think that's going to be as good as we're going to get here. Not super happy with this, but this does have some game to it. Shown on the screen next, I'll put up the deck's record. Remember, if you're enjoying the content, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.